I wanted to continue my conversation with the videos that had to deal with anti-natalism. And another thing that in this society that they're pulling up is about having the first octo baby or whatever it is facility where basically babies can be born from there. And it's not a natural birth because it's not requiring the mother to be there. The mother can use an app to check if the baby is developing, how it's developing, try to have real life uh ways where they can feel the kick of a baby without actually being pregnant and know what it's like to go through the trials and tribulations of motherhood. So going through that 9-month process, they wear all these different equipment to get the likeness of what it's like to be a mom who's pregnant, but they don't have to deal with it. So thing about it is, what I was warning in this society of what they pushing is that things are starting to become more virtual and non-real. So the disassociation about socialization between people, everyday people, what a mom knows what it's like to be pregnant, what it's like to be a mom and a father is now being co-opted by these different random movements and these different technologies in order to ensure the natural process of things doesn't happen or they're going to decrease on it. It doesn't mean that, folks still can't do the regular stuff that they're doing, but it's gonna bow down on it tenfold. So I made a video dedicated in one of my series called Vet Thy Children, world's first artificial womb facility. And I'm here to just look at what you guys were talking about. Check it out. Tin Val says, I don't think these kids have souls. I think it's like how people clone their dog. The Terminator told us about this, and The Matrix, in that movie when that doctor kept cloning his family that was killed in a car accident. This is sick, and I think it's AI. Well, technology nowadays is to remove people from their natural element to give them this fixture world of just being glued to a screen. Subconsciously, I understand this, I know this, and the whole entire thing about cloning, it is not a new concept. I know you know this. And movies like The Terminator, The Matrix, and all this other stuff, we understand as predictive programming. Science fiction is not really science fiction, it's just programming in which they're just telling you exactly how things are going to play out. And I don't know, maybe it's me. I don't see a lot of sci-fi movies, ads for sci-fi movies a lot these days. Usually I see them regurgitating a lot of movies from the 80s and 90s and, trying to make things new again and stuff like that. But Hollywood doesn't seem like they try to do those type of movies anymore, you know? So could be a point. The Wacky World of OTV says, I remember reading about artificial wombs years ago, and the first thing I thought was the many children who might behave, think, or function differently than those born of a natural birth. It's bad enough that we have a generations of people born without having their mother's natural breast milk, Similac babies, and we see how dysfunctional a lot of them are. Imagine how children may become if they wasn't inside of their mother's womb, which means that they're won't be a high dopamine level in the mothers. Thus, the level of nurturing may be different than mothers who had a natural birth. If dopamine levels in artificial womb mothers won't be as high, then the amount of love that these mothers will have for their artificial children might differ from mothers who had a natural birth. If these children receive less love, then that might be a recipe for disaster. Well, yeah, absolutely, Wacky World of OTV. Because the thing about it is, it's basically birthing a stranger, even though you weren't there for the birth. There's no idea of that actual connection, especially with the mother and the son or mother and the daughter, where they have to cut the umbilical cord. Or the eccentric things, like I said, with the mother having to go through the journey, preferably for 9 months, and the baby developing in her stomach. None of that. It's the whole entire illusion of that, because what they're probably also teaching this generation of people to be is very lazy. And with that, they feel like if they want to have a baby, but the lady or the woman is too lazy to do it, they go ahead and just go to an artificial lab. So when I seen this video and I reviewed it, I just thought to myself, another way to get people to adapt to a virtual reality, as well as teach them that it's okay to be lazy and not go through the full process of childbearing. Mothers that breastfeed, breasts automatically fill with milk. Tenval says feminists and trans women and adults that are attracted to infants and young children are supporting shit like this. People are so weird. It's crazy. Yeah, there's something that's off about a lot of the generations. You understand? In which, to function at best. And I also want to say this. I think a lot more mothers are cognizant now than they were back in the day where, Similac wasn't helping, because that was also a form of laziness. And also when they had to go to the doctors and get all these shots, not even realizing certain shots might have messed up the baby in general, but we don't really need to speak about that in depth. Jay says, "Oh, wow, this is crazy." Yes, it is. The future is golden. 777 says, "I am firmly against this." Yep. Brianne LaFay says, "This is wild." Tin Val says, "I thought it was wild when woman was having children like rabbits that was getting help medically to conceive. It was sick when they highlighted Octomom. It's all sick. The problem is that they highlight one person, giving people an impression that it's not a lot of people when there are millions." T to Godly says, "Facts. Salute, brother." Pure Butterfly Spirit 02 says, "P.S. Hollywood tells us what they're going to do before they implement it. Watch the movie Children of Men. Every woman in society stopped having babies because all the women population became infertile, aside from one woman, a black woman. However, in that movie, they didn't tell how the global population of women became infertile, and should I say what environmental issues caused it, such as pollution and or biochemical warfare." And to that point, obviously we can go into that rabbit hole and say that not only was it biochemical warfare, pollution, food, obviously we understand the chemicals that they put in the foods at each essential time, and trying to figure out ways of basically boiling it down, diluting it, and all these different things. And I always say, especially with the fake meats and all these different things out there to use as a way to say this is the better things, food you should be eating. A lot of stuff, a lot of things that they do to destroy the body, and it's probably giving way to men decreasing in sperm count, and then also women becoming infertile in some type of way. It's grimy in the Western world. Pure Butterfly Spirit 02 also says, "Everything natural the divine creator creates, this serpent, the science, medical system, world government mocks and mimics." Agreed. Give me your thoughts in the comment section. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Peace.